In this lesson, we are going to look at the sales settings that are in account and settings. And this is primarily for your invoices and then also how you're going to track your sales within QuickBooks Online. So let's go ahead and start. And we're going to go up here again to our account settings wheel. And we're going to go over here under your company account and settings. And this will bring up what we are familiar with, what we've been doing over the last few lessons here. Obviously on the left-hand side, that is where we can find our different sections that we can work on here in account and settings. And we are going to go to the sales section, and it brings this up. The first one up here under customize, this is our customization for the different invoices and forms we can do. We are not going to do this one. This one actually is a different course where we can go into detail and really break that out to create really nice forms in QuickBooks. We are just going to deal with the general areas here within the sales section. So let's go ahead into edit over here to the right, which obviously is your pencil icon. And the first thing we see here is the preferred invoice terms. So this is the general setting for your customers. If you're doing an accounts receivable on a net 30, which is the default for QuickBooks, then you would just leave it as net 30. But if we do the drop down, you can see here that QuickBooks has already added a few. You have due on receipt, net 10, net 15, and then net 60. Now you can always add a new one by just clicking on add new, put the name, say you wanted a net 5 or something different. You would just put it in there and then put how many days. Or if, for instance, your customers, they are all due on a certain time of the month, then you can always put that in here as well. So QuickBooks does give you the option to add any new ones. And so for this particular one, we're just going to do a net 30. Now you can always put the general delivery method. So if you always print these, then you would hit print, or if you send them later, you can hit send later, or if there's no preferred delivery method, you can just put none. Now we get to our first toggle, and this is the toggle on and off. Now some of you may add shipping, the type of business, maybe you're in retail and you add shipping to your invoice. And so you would want to go ahead and turn the shipping on. And just so you know, you can put shipping tags, anything in that shipping line item that will show up on your invoice. But if you don't use shipping, then you can go ahead and keep that off. Next, we go into our custom fields. We're not going to go through here, but you can create custom fields in QuickBooks, and you would just click on custom fields. It would take you to that portion of QuickBooks Online, and you can go about creating your own custom fields for your invoices and your estimates. Now, you may have transaction numbers. This is always good to toggle on because this will make sure that you have a sequential order to your invoices and your estimates. It will automatically create the next one. So always good to toggle that on. But if you don't want specific transaction numbers, then you would click that off. Service date is sometimes different than the date on the invoice or the estimate. And so if that's the case, say you went out to a customer on a certain date, but say you bill them 2 or 3 days later, you would click on there the service date so that you can put on your invoices the day that you actually serviced your customer. Discount would be that you can always add a discount. Maybe there's a coupon, something that you can put on here. If you have any discounts, you can toggle that on or off. Deposits, this would be for companies that maybe take a deposit up front where they're doing the work over time, and they want that to be applied to the invoice that's issued at the end of the completion of the project. So you would click on deposit, and that would show up on your invoice down at the bottom, and then that deposit would be applied to the final invoice amount, lowering the amount that the customer owes. This last part is you can also accept tips. There are, if you click on that, you can see there that most businesses share tips with their team. And so you would be able to click on just me or my team. I see this sometimes in moving companies where they will, the customer at the end of the moving will give, say, $100 tip to the team. And so that can put on there where you accept the tips and you can divvy that out to the team or just you. And obviously we talked about tags last time. We want to either tag our invoices or not, or our estimates. And so we would click that on to make sure that we can run tags in this section of our sales. So there is a lot of information here in the sales section of the account and settings. And so we are going to go ahead and break this up into 2 lessons. And we will pick up the next lesson where we left off here in the sales section.
I got you.